So I'm Greg, TB. Originally started with Trail Boss from a forum website I used to own with a friend of mine. One of the owners of Ride ADV. I've been here since the start. We've been going 15 years this year.
I'm Simon Allen. I've been with Ride ADV since November 2024. Yeah, couldn't be more happy to be part of the team. It's more of a family here than a team realistically.
My name's Penny. I've been helping out Ride ADV on the women's rides and the introduction to adventure rides.
My name's Mick and I'm a support rider for Ride ADV, which sort of a little bit of everything. Sometimes I'm a sweep rider, sometimes I have to go out early in the morning to put out danger flags if we come across any issues.
My name's Josh, bit of a roustabout, do whatever I'm told at this stage. So I'm a mechanic by trade, so yeah, a lot of bike works, changing tyres.
My name is Abby Chadwick. I started with Ride ADV in 2020 as a crew member. First ride was 2019 as a customer.
My name's Trent. I'm a mid-pack sweep rider. I sort of became friends with Greg over a bike build for my wife, probably going back 6-7 years ago.
My name is David Poole. Came from South Africa, went to Australia and was looking to ride and found this crew called Ride ADV.
My name's Joanne. I started looking to ride a motorbike probably about 2018. Never ridden at all. Someone introduced me to the concept of adventure riding. Did some research online and came across Ride ADV.
Yeah, we're one of the biggest tour companies in Australia. We certainly run the most amount of events, more than anyone else, that's for sure. And it takes a real family crew.
I do a bit of a mix of everything. On our 2-day cornerman system rides, I will be up the front with Greg. He'll lead, he'll make the route, and I will put customers on corners. Cornerman system ride, so the way we run it, Greg will be up the front, he'll make the route, I will be directly behind him, and as a customer rides up behind me when we come to a corner, change of direction, something like that, I'll wave to them, point to the corner, they face their bike in the direction we've gone. So riders who come up behind will see their bike at the intersection facing right or left or whatever it is and start riding that direction. That bike will wait there until the sweeps come along, give a signal to that rider, they'll then ride off and join the group. A bit of a leapfrog way to do it. No GPS is involved, just using the riders as arrows basically. So.
Always servicing, repairs, customer bikes, fleet bikes, plenty of work to do.
You know, like you see a lot more action when you're sweeping than you feel like you're riding by yourself if you're out early in the morning. So yeah, I do rider instruction on our intro rides and we do the women's rides as well. So they end up being a fairly instructive sort of ride as well.
I actually was a customer on one of their rides back in middle of 2024 and then approached Greg about a position on the team and we worked through the logistics and yeah, couldn't be happy to be on a T7 now.
I've known Greg since when he was a young little P-plater on an XR250. Yeah, I've known him for a long time and then I did some rides as a paying customer as well. Really enjoyed that and then Greg offered me the ride on the Tenere.
I've done a few rides with Greg and the crew last year and yeah, just seen a great little group, great crew, put together fantastic rides and yeah, wanted to be a part of it.
Was a paying customer on a number of rides and here I am helping out where I can on the women's and the intro rides.
To be a mid-pack sweep, you're often picking people up that have come off along the way or you're helping them when they might just have a little topple over in a creek or something like that. So you've got a lot of luggage to move about to each day, so we load and offload the track. But
So I'm in a sweep rider position and also work with Mick Strong, one of our other team members, in a riding instructor role as well.
Such a pleasure to be a part of. Really enjoying my time here and yeah, great to help out and be around bikes all the time, which is what I love.
It was my first real ride out in Australia. I'd done some riding elsewhere, and thought, okay, it all went very, very well. And that was back in 2016, so this is now my 9th year riding with them. I've ridden with one other tour company in Australia, but by far Ride ADV is just fantastic.
I started on the very reliable steed of a WR250. Love those bikes.
And they were running their first ever women's ride in 2018, which was fantastic. And it was amazing meeting other ladies. Some of us were nervous, some of us were new, some of us were very experienced. I was completely new. I only been riding about 6 months.
My first ever ride with Brady was a women's only ride. It did sort of strike me as funny that it's a women's only ride and then you're just being led around by men, which it didn't bother me, but it was definitely like a thought, you know. Yeah, I've heard from quite a few of our customers. It's very nice to know that they have a female crew member. They can ask me questions. I might even explain it in a way that they understand a bit more. And then, yeah, it's just comforting knowing that they have someone that they can relate to. So
Meeting Ride ADV and a group of guys, they are so fantastically supportive, encouraging. The thing about Ride ADV and their setup, you feel supported, you are under no pressure, you ride your own ride. So you do feel really confident and comfortable knowing that you're in an environment where you have that support. Through Greg, I've done many women's rides, many intro rides, then I've progressed to his navigation rides.
What's your favourite ride that you do with Ride ADV?
It had to be the Vic High Country last year. It was, yeah, it's exceptional down there.
Look, I thoroughly enjoyed the intros to see people develop their skills. I think this year for me, the trip to the Flinders Ranges is probably going to be the highlight.
The women's rides are an absolute blast. We all have a lot of laughs, and it's a really different dynamic to where it's predominantly males. There's more women out there riding, coming along on these rides. It's growing adventure.
I like the Flinders ride actually, it's beautiful. I like the desert. High country is good, you know, but I've done the high country a fair bit and I like to ride trails that I haven't ridden before. So that's my, you know, like ideal ride is a track that I've never ridden before.
Looking forward to the high country and the last ride, the wall to wall, I think we're doing this year. So yeah, looking forward to those ones.
the high country.
Yeah.
yeah. So disappointed I couldn't go this year, actually. It's kicking myself. Yeah, the high country is definitely my favourite.
Without doubt, the 10-day Outback experience. It was a case where on some of the rides, everyone goes to hotels or motels and it's great and we meet up for dinner. But on the Outback experience, we were sitting in the middle of nowhere and every night was a campfire. Food was cooked on the fire and everyone sat around, the jokes, the sharing of information, and just the general, and the riding was just off the charts. You know?
So break down the favourite ride. I can break down many categories. I have a favourite ride with favourite customers, or I have a favourite ride for the terrain. It sounds weird. I'm not interested in the scenery. I'm not even interested in the location. I'm interested in the ride. I've always been about the actual ride, about the tip in, the corner, the bits you get right, flowing a big, heavy adventure bike, not sliding, not spinning, being smooth and fast. It's just, I get a real buzz out of that. So any ride that gives me that, I'm happy with. But then the women's rides, the enthusiasm, they don't get to ride all the time. The enthusiasm they have is just, it's great. The introduction rides, the beginners rides, we teach so much, and you see on the second day, these people that were, wobbling all over the place on the first day, second day are riding properly, and they're weighting their pegs and they're pulling their bars and they're doing everything they need to do. The Yamaha Australia and Yamaha, I can talk mainly for Yamaha Australia, they're like a huge family. They all ride, they're passionate, their support is unbelievable. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, if we're not with them, we're not with anyone. Originally, we started on 660s, so yeah, we're on 660s. We did over 500,000 accumulated kilometres on 660s, more than 500,000 with all our accumulated WRs. I want to say 2017 or so, we got a tap on the shoulder by Yamaha and said, hey, there's something coming. There was some talk about the 700s. In the early quarter of Q2, I think, in 2019, we had 3 in Australia, and Ride ADV was involved in a tour of those going around all the country. I got the first one registered in Australia in October, end of October 2019. Still have that bike. It's here somewhere. It's known as the Corey bike. It's done so many kilometres. It's unbelievable. That thing is also known as the Mule. It was the thing we tried everything on. It's never have to have a valve shim. We've never, actually in all the time we've had Yamahas, and we had some 1200 Teneres too, we missed those. Yeah. So we ran those for a while, but we've never had to shim a valve in the whole time we've had Yamahas. We've never replaced a fuel pump. We've never replaced a fuel filter. That one there with 80,000 Ks has the spark plugs from the factory in it.
I've been privileged enough to ride in a number of different countries in the world, and by far the people I've met through Ride ADV and the riding that we do here in Australia is just really, really spectacular. So I say to anyone, if you get a chance to come out, look up Greg, he'll sort you out.
So Ride ADV, as a tour company, they are open to all kind of bikes. They are welcoming. I love their format. in that they do the women's rides, the intro rides. They've introduced the intermediate intro ride, and I think it really helps people gain skills. And then obviously they do the navigation rides, which are also fantastic. And I think I like the fact that you can go from a 2-day to 5 to 7 to 10, depending on what that the ride is offering. Ride ADV, they're all supportive, they're all encouraging, and also bike assistance. You know, you've got something wrong, they'll get stuck in, everyone helps.
It is who we are, and so if you ever want to come ride in Australia, come check us out.
What does Greg always say about zeros?
Zeros are the heroes, but the peeps love the sweeps.
I am headed down to the outskirts of Sydney to Adventure Motorsports. I gotta pick up some stuff for the high country ride. I'm actually gonna take the ferry, the Wiseman ferry. That's what we're doing. And the ferry actually is just pulling up, so I don't think I'm gonna have to wait for very long. Driving on the left hasn't been so bad. It kind of clicks in your head pretty quick, and you just kind of figure it out. I really haven't had any drama with it of forgetting which side of the road to be on or anything like that. It's been really pretty straightforward. So, all right, we're moving.
In 200 meters, continue straight onto Old Northern Road.
We're moving. You're not screwing around, that was quick. Roll the windows up so I don't get a copyright strike. Guy is absolutely blasting his music. Which, I mean, if I was running a ferry, I'd be doing that too. Why not, you know?
Continue on Old Northern Road for 41 kilometers.
Alright, nobody coming. Oh, God. Alright, well, we're here. Yep, thank you. And I may try and find some clear eye protection, because I'm realizing around here, I need it. Because I've been fogged up so much in my visor, it's crazy. I have come for an airbag.
An airbag?
At the orders of Greg.
Oh, are we holding it for you?
Yeah, I don't know if they set one aside or not, but I'm picking it up. Yeah, I might just have to talk to somebody and see who he talks to over here.
Yeah. I'll call Jen. She's probably
the wonderful game of phone tag.
2 hours later.
Now this is a trailer.
One debt to society later.
That's a shitload of motorbike. And some really cool ones like this with the rally tanks.
Tomorrow for sure.
At the tone, the time will be 5:30. And we are all packed up and getting ready to move to Bright. We've got a bunch of trucks, a bunch of trailers, and a bunch of bikes.
I said you feel me?
Yes.
Good morning.
That's generally what I do.
It is. So Lincoln and Mick aren't far away. Red Fox won't be far off.
Yeah.
We'll be locked and loaded.
All right. We're going to be on the road shortly. We got 3 more people who got to show up. And we'll be on our way to Bright. Unloading bikes, it's always a much faster process to unload than load.
Has it got a key? Yep. Good. The back wheel's all line up. Roll it back.
Whoa, that skid plate's close.
Yeah, it's great. You missed a call? Yeah. Good. Yeah, mate, yeah, we're going to hope if there's anything like wrong side.
That's a bit ambitious.
What is this for?
This is Jaeger's idol. Ring a bell?
There you go. What is that? Jam. Love jam.
Didn't quite get the response I was after, but anyway. I went to a lot of effort. I went to a lot of effort for that. See, she rings your bell.
Does ring my bell, Jen.
Yeah.
Jen rings my bell.
Yeah,